Hello and welcome. This is Sid-Academy. So today we'll be talking about the human circulatory system in biology. So I want you to follow along as we start this topic, the human circulatory system. So the human circulatory system is composed of three main parts. These parts are: one, we have the heart; two, we have blood; and lastly, we have blood vessels. So this our topic will mainly focus on the heart. I'm sure you know what the heart is, and you've ever heard about the heart. The heart, its function is to pump blood. So let's take a closer look at the heart and let's see how it accomplishes this responsibility or this function of pumping blood. So I'm not sure if you are going to be able to see this my illustration heart. So you can see that this is the human heart, a mammalian heart. So this heart is mainly made up of two parts. The heart is made up of two parts. We have the left part and the right part. Yeah, the heart is divided into two parts, the right side and the left side. So we have this muscular tissue here known as the septum that separates these two parts. The left and the right side of the heart is separated by a muscular part known as the septum. I'm sure you're going to revise in your books. You have the diagram of the heart. I'm just going to explain. So this heart, as we said earlier, the heart pumps blood. So there are about 4 chambers that help the heart to pump blood. The heart is made up of 4 chambers that helps it to accomplish the function of pumping blood. So we have these 2 chambers on the upper part of the heart, and we have 2 of these chambers on the lower part of the heart. So the chambers that are found on the upper part of the heart, they are known as auricles. Others call it atria. The chambers on the upper part of the heart are known as auricles or the atria. While those ones on the lower part of the heart, they are known as ventricles. Yes, I have said ventricles. So we have the left ventricle and a right ventricle. We have a left auricle and a right auricle. So let's take a look at the function of these 4 chambers. We've said these are the chambers that help the heart to accomplish the function of the chambers of the heart are the ones that help it to accomplish the function of pumping blood. So now let's take a closer look at how each of these chambers help the heart in pumping blood. Remember, we have 4 chambers, 2 on the upper part of the heart and 2 on the lower part of the heart. Those on the upper part, they are known as the auricles, and these on the lower part, they are known as ventricles. We have a left ventricle and a right ventricle. We have a left auricle and a right auricle. So the function of the ventricles, let me start with the ventricles, or rather let me start with the auricles. So the function of the auricles, as I've said, the auricles are found on the upper part of the heart. So the auricles, they pump blood into the ventricles. So that's their function. They receive blood from different parts of the body and they pump that blood into the ventricles. The function of the auricles, they pump blood into the ventricles. So what about the ventricles? What do they do? Well, in the case of the ventricles, there are 2 different functions. The right ventricle, or let me start with the left ventricle. The left ventricle, if you look at the left ventricle, it pumps blood into the lungs. The function of the left ventricle, rather the right ventricle, is that it pumps blood to the lungs. Yeah, it pumps blood to the lungs. And remember that this blood is the one we call deoxygenated blood. It's the blood that doesn't have oxygen. So the right ventricle, it pumps blood to the lungs so that they should become the blood should become oxygenated. So that is the function of the right ventricle. It pumps blood to the lungs so as for the blood to become oxygenated. What about this other one, the right ventricle now, the left ventricle now? So this left ventricle, its function is that the blood that has now been the blood that has now been oxygenated has to be pumped throughout the body. So the function of the left ventricle is that it pumps blood to all parts of the body. Yeah, that's it about the chambers of the heart. And thank you for being there, for being such a wonderful and a quiet class. Remember, COVID-19 is real, so stay at home and stay safe. And remember, when you're at home, continue to study, because studying is a process that never ends.